Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and in today's video I have my Gameweek 5 team selection for you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, please do drop a like, please do subscribe as well, and let's start off right away in goal with Robert Sanchez here. So over the midweek games in the UEFA Champions League, Enzo Maresca has come out to say that Sanchez can't play all the games. Chelsea are involved in lots of games this season. There's the Premier League games, there's Europe in the Champions League, there's also the domestic games, the Cup games, the FA Cup, the EFL Cup, etc. All these games, Enzo Maresca has said that Sanchez simply can't play all of them. I seem to think that it's perfectly possible for a goalkeeper to do so because it's honestly not as taxing as a outfielder. But it is what it is. He is the coach. And what he did also say is that Jorgensen will play some games in the Premier League, in the Champions League, etc. And to me, I don't think it affects my transfers right away because I'm not going to spend my one transfer replacing Sanchez. And Manchester United away here, maybe it's not an ideal fixture, but definitely not going to worry too much about Sanchez as a pick now. It just plays into my mind a little bit come game week 8 when I wildcard. I probably will remove him from my team if he is a rotation risk. So that's on Sanchez. In defense, there's Porro, Murillo, and Anderson. I'll start off with a yellow flag on Murillo first. Now, based off of what we heard after the Arsenal game, when Murillo came off prematurely, was that Ange Postecoglou doesn't think it's too serious. He feels like he will be back for the game against Burnley in Game Week 5. Then they played the midweek game, the EFL Cup game against Swansea. And before that game, he gave another update on Murillo, but again, that was not conclusive. All he said was that Murillo has been recovering fine. He does not know whether Murillo is definitely going to be ready for Burnley, but he has every chance to do so. So I think after, by the time you're watching this video, in a couple hours time, there probably will be the Nottingham Forest press conference. And I do think that we might get a little bit more conclusive of an update on Murillo. I'm hoping for that, and if he's fit, I want to play him here against Burnley away, which is a plum fixture for him. And you remember that against Arsenal in 37 minutes, he already picked up 2 defensive contribution points. So I'm hoping that he will do the same here if he starts against Burnley. Now, as for Pedro Porro and Joachim Anderson, I'm very happy to start because he's playing at home and he's also very good for defensive contributions. For Porro here, he hasn't been getting as many attacking returns of late, and also Xavi Simons is starting to take some set pieces off of Porro, which is not great, right? So I don't think I would have Porro as a player in my Game Week 8 wildcard, by any means. But at least right now for Game Week 5, I'm still choosing to start him ahead of Van de Ven, who is first on the bench, who probably will come in if Murillo is injured as an auto sub, but we'll see what happens. But I'm currently still choosing to just start Porro ahead of Van de Ven, even though Van de Ven scored 15 points in Game Week 4. Now, in midfield, there's Salah, Fernandes, Semenyo, and Reinders. I'll start with Salah first. He has the captain's armband for me. He played really well, actually, in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid. Yes, he got 1 goal and 1 assist, but what I was more impressed by was that he was starkly different in terms of his activity, in terms of the shots that he took in that game, the positions he took up, the chances he created. All of them was so much better against Atletico Madrid as compared to Burnley, which sounds a little bit crazy, but honestly against Burnley, though he walked away with a 9-pointer, I really was not impressed with his performance at all. But thankfully, this Champions League game came in time for Salah to convince me that he'll do well against Everton here. So he has the armband for me. Fernandes does not have an ideal fixture. It's Chelsea at home. But again, I'm probably not going to spend a transfer to remove someone like Fernandes, who is still, I feel, pretty good for defensive contributions, and he is on pens. Same goes for Semenyo, where he could be on penalties because he did take one ahead of Evan Nielsen, who was on the pitch, and they got a penalty, but Semenyo took it. And obviously this is bearing in mind that Kluivert was not on the pitch. So Kluivert likely still first choice penalty taker, but Semenyo being second choice is great, right? Because Kluivert is not going to play every single game probably. And yeah, Semenyo just having him in the team, bringing him in Game Week 3 was just a decision that I think I'm happy I went with because of his big haul in Game Week 4. So against Newcastle here, hoping he does well again. Now, Reinders here against Arsenal away is a pick I'm not certain about, particularly because I have Van de Ven against Brighton away, who's first on the bench, and I very well can start him ahead of Reinders. So I am thinking about it because I do rate the Arsenal defense, especially at the Emirates, and that's why I think Reinders could drop to the bench by the time the Game Week 5 deadline comes around, and Van de Ven could come in. We'll see. Maybe a 4-3-3. And then up front, it's great fixtures for Watkins, a great fixture for Mateta, and then there's João Pedro against Manchester United away. Now, on Watkins and Aston Villa, they have been very, very disappointing, and even midweek in the cup game, they lost to Brentford on penalty, so really not good watching. But something just tells me that this Sunderland game here could pretty much be either a 0-0 game, a very unimpressive and very pragmatic kind of a game, or it could be a game where Aston Villa turn things around and Ollie Watkins scores a goal at least, right? So, I mean, it's that kind of a game where I think this could be a springboard, or it could be just a hole that Aston Villa go deeper into. And I'm honestly hoping that he will get a return against Sunderland. But regardless, at least come Game Week 8, when I wildcard, he'll definitely not be in the team. I've had a look at the Game Week 8 wildcard already. There's definitely no space for Ollie Watkins, especially with the way he's playing. But yeah, at least for Game Week 5, 6, 7, I'm likely still going to hold on to him. I need some returns for him very, very soon. Mateta against West Ham away. Mateta has played lots and lots of minutes in recent weeks. And you remember as well, they had the Conference League qualifiers, etc. He has actually come out to say that he's really tired, and Glasner has also kind of alluded to the fact that he's actually considered whether other players like Klein can play at the forward positions, right? But truth of the matter is still that Mateta played 90 minutes midweek against Millwall, scored in the penalty shootout as well. But that's it. I think West Ham away is a good fixture for him. I'm hoping he does well in this game. And yeah, come Game Week 6, he'll probably be removed. When I have 2 free transfers, I intend to upgrade him to Erling Haaland, who will have Burnley in Game Week 6. And then João Pedro is Manchester United away. Definitely not doing anything in that aspect. I'm not going to remove him for sure. And then on the bench is Van de Ven. And now I think Van de Ven, again, as I said, could come in for Reinders, could auto sub for Murillo. We'll see what happens. And then there's Estef and Ismail Assar, who's currently still red flag. Now, on a last point that I would think is important to mention is why I'm not bench boosting in Game Week 5, because I think it's a decent consideration, because Burnley do have decent fixtures, and the bulk of our benches are on Burnley players, particularly Dubravka and Estef, who play Nottingham Forest at home this week. So it's not a bad fixture at all, and Estef is pretty good for defensive contributions as well. So I do think that there is good reason for some people, especially with a different kind of a bench like mine, where maybe you don't have Ismail Assar, you replaced him with Paqueta, for example, who has Crystal Palace. I think even then, right, it's a decent enough bench boost that you could go with. But for my team, I just don't think the bench is good enough. I'm also not going to spend a transfer to remove Ismail Assar and bring in a player just so that I can bench boost. So probably not for my case. But again, for those of you who are on that kind of a strategy, I don't mind it as well. I hope that works out. As for myself, when I'm likely to bench boost, I think Game Week 6 could be a week I triple captain, so not a bench boost week for me. Game Week 7, I've had a look as well, not ideal, the bench. And then Game Week 8 is when I wildcard. So at least for now, the plan is probably to bench boost after I wildcard, sometime between Game Week 9 at the earliest, all the way up till kind of Game Week 13 to 15, that kind of a period. So inconclusive when I bench boost, but at least it's not going to be in these next few weeks. Most people could be playing their bench boost in Game Week 5, so I probably might drop a little bit of a rank because I'm not playing a chip. I've seen some people probably playing wild cards as well, so this could be a week where I really have to hope some differentials here pay off. So we'll see what happens. If not, this is my Game Week 5 team selection. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do drop a like. Please do subscribe as well. And I don't say this enough, but please join the FPL group chat. It's basically my Telegram group chat community. It's completely free to join. We chat in there all about FPL. And yeah, it's just a very, very, very nice community that we can, interact with in there. So if you guys are interested and you have Telegram, just scan the QR code and you'll be automatically entered into the group chat. I'll see you guys there, and I'll see you guys on the deadline stream. That is 3 hours before the deadline, as always. Bye-bye.